been playing Midnight Murder Club. You guys heard of this?
So
Have you seen
what
this?
is
Heard
it? I've
about
heard
this?
I know
the name,
nothing
but I
about
haven't.
this.
Yeah.
So it's in early access. I also played like a closed beta. It is a multiplayer game that is more akin to my days playing GoldenEye on the 64 than anything I have played since then. Very, very fun. There are several game modes. Your regular deathmatch is a lot like Man with the Golden Gun, except that you have microphone input, so you can hear vaguely when people are near you. And you're in these giant mansions. So, like, if someone's in a room next to you and they're talking to someone else, or you hear them scream, it is hilarious because you're just hearing like little pieces of people dying around you, and you can generally figure out where they are by listening to them. You also have the ability to turn a light on and off, like you have a torch. I forget what Americans call that.
Flashlight?
Flashlight.
Yeah. So you have a flashlight.
We call it a
Say it like
flashlight
that.
as well, Alana.
Not in Queensland, we don't.
Yes,
mate.
you do. Okay? Yes, you do.
It's a torch. Thank you. So you can turn it on and off. It is pitch black with it off, unless I've done my settings wrong.
cool.
You can't see anything.
All right.
But you will still hear people around you. So you'll sit there kind of in silence occasionally because you think someone's going to walk into a room, wait for them, shoot them, they die in one hit. But you can't see where you're going if your light is off. So you can see other people's lights through doors. There are windows that are basically just grates. You could see where they're coming from. So there's like so much tension in that. And I have this terrible habit of whenever I feel that amount of pressure in a video game, I constantly throw. Like, I just am terrible. So I'm really, really, really bad at this game because I basically like panic when I see anyone and misclick consistently, which you definitely can't do in this game. But it's super, super fun. Like, there's a ton of just like tension and hilarity in that I similarly to like the way the Split Fiction presents itself, like that I haven't really found in a lot of other games. There are some other game modes. I haven't tried all of them. One of them that I enjoyed the most is a 2v2v2, where you basically have to like open these safes. You get a piece of a mask, and there are kind of rounds, a different layer of safe opens. So if you can build the masks together, then you drop them off at a vault. So there are some interesting strategies in that one. In like if you're killing an enemy team, you could pick up their mask pieces, build the full mask, and then run to the vault. Or if you get killed, basically your only option is to run straight to the vault, hope you can kill someone with a full mask, steal theirs, and drop it. So there are like some really interesting strategies around that particular game mode, which is like, do we want to lay low, try not to be seen, try to like find these safes and avoid other teams to see if we can put a whole mask together? Because I think it's like a complete one's like, I don't know, $1,000. Smaller ones might be a few hundred or whatever. And by the end of all of those modes, you're trying to have made the most money. So it almost feels like Payday-esque in a way. Again, also in a way that I've not felt like Payday has felt like in a while. So yeah, there are, I think, 5 or 4 game modes in early access, which is what it's in right now. And they're all like very distinct. They're also like, I've tried some fun stuff. I did this in the closed beta previously where we just for fun tried to do it without shooting. So it was like slappers only because that worked, when playing GoldenEye back in the day. And it was also very fun because it's also one hit kills with just slapping. Yeah, it's really fun. I'm enjoying it a ton. It's like, I don't know how much legs it has as a multiplayer game, but it's something like it's just so delightful in no small part because of the way the microphones work. That I can see myself having this be a go-to party game almost in the way that Among Us was several years ago. It's genuinely very, very fun. And performance is great. Like, there's nothing about it that stands out for any other reason than like fun game to play with your friends on microphone. But for that, having a great time, really enjoying it.
Yeah. How do you move around if it's pitch black and you can't see anything? How do you move around without the torch being on? Like, can you see anything? Can you see like some broad outlines of
nothing?
So you could just be pressing forward and you're just walking into a wall the whole time and you wouldn't know it unless you turn your flashlight on.
Correct.
Okay,
so
wow.
you either see what is in the room, turn the light off, figure out where the door is, or you flick it on and off.
Dude, that's fun.
But a lot of the time you're just waiting in pitch black because you think someone might walk into your room, and usually they'll walk in with their light on, so you'll see them.
And you shoot them.
And they will not see you, like in the dark, if they walk in straight away. So yeah, you can't see anything. Again, unless I've done something wrong with my settings. But when I was playing with my friends, I was asking them, and everyone was like, no, we can't see anything, which is, again, also I think a really fun choice.
Very cool.
You can't see shit. It's
so
really
weird
good.
that this is a Sony game.
I know. I keep forgetting that it's a Sony game.
Because this is actually, it's a first-party published Sony title. It's coming exclusively to. It's from the developers that made Knockout City, right? and they went
Oh,
Ah,
and
holy
they've
shit.
made this
Yeah.
Knockout City. By the way, really great game. They did super
Also
well.
very good.
Well,
So
very
fun.
critically acclaimed. People loved it, but obviously it just didn't have the legs that EA needed to keep it
That's
going.
already offline,
It's
isn't
already
it?
offline. Yeah.
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 So it's
mm,
great that they went from EA to Sony because it's hard for those sorts of studios to find work right now, or to find publishing deals, I should say.
For
And
sure.
it's just so weird that Sony looked at this and thought, yeah, you know what? Let's have a crack at this. But I really love that they did that. It kind of feels like, obviously Sean Layden and Shu are always talking about like that golden era of Sony just like fucking around and trying shit out and getting weird and whatever. This feels like that kind of decision making where they're like, let's try
I
this weird little thing and well, let's see how it
I
goes.
think the magic in it is also immediately obvious. Like
Right.
your first round, you get it.
Got it.
You
Yeah, yeah,
get
yeah.
why people are going to enjoy this game. So it would actually be pretty easy to show a publisher
Yeah.
and be like, here's what it is. Even if they're bad at games, an exec can play this and be like, oh, I get it. That's hilarious. So it's probably
mm.
very easy
To
to sell.
pitch.
But
Yeah.
it was super surprising to me that it's a PlayStation game. I don't feel like Sony's advertised it
Absolutely not. It's
at all.
criminal how little they have
I don't
pumped
know why
this.
they do that.
It's almost like they're embarrassed about it. Like, which I,
Or
I,
it's because it's still early access. Like maybe they're waiting.
I've heard good things about this game as well from other people who have
Super
played
fun.
the closed beta. Closed beta. It looks really fun. I don't know why Sony isn't throwing some more weight behind it because they just haven't mentioned it, man. It's crazy. They did
No other games like this right now that
Mm.
Sony
No.
has. Like it's
yeah, I know.
yeah. I
I don't
couldn't
know.
None
I
that I
couldn't
can
tell.
think
It could
of.
be that they're waiting.
Maybe they're just
or,
nervous
I don't know.
about they don't want another live service flop headline,
Oh, maybe.
and they
Yeah,
think,
when it
well,
when it hits 1.0, maybe.
they're like, oh, we don't want to be embarrassed again by a bad live service
I feel
launch.
like they barely advertised Concord either.
Yeah.
What? How can they complain? I saw that in
Mm.
one conference.
No, I don't quite agree because they had that. Remember how they had that reveal trailer that was like 7-minute long CG trailer?
Yeah.
I think
I
that
don't remember that. To be fair, Concord always looked uninteresting to me, so it's entirely possible I didn't pay much attention to it.
sure.
But in this case, it hasn't been in anything
Yeah.
at all.
No, it was in one. It was a brief mention in one showcase, and it was only after the trailer ended that we saw the PlayStation logo, and we were like, "What?
Oh, you're
the
right.
fuck was
You're
that?
right.
It's a
Mhm.
Sony game,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And after that, I don't think they've showcased it again. In fact, they just did a recent state of play. They didn't showcase. Did they showcase there? I can't remember. Can't
Sure.
remember
I
if
think
they
they
did. Or not.
did, yeah.
They did. Okay, cool.
I
Fair
believe
enough.
they
Well, that's
did,
something
yeah.
at least. But
Yeah.
I just feel like there should be like developer interviews happening, and there should be banner
Yeah, it
ads or
was,
some shit. I don't know, man. Just fucking something. I know it's early access for
Mm.
sure, but like, I think if it's a first party publisher, you got to put a little bit of pump behind it. So, but yeah, I'll definitely be checking it out. It looks super
Yeah,
fun. I
thank
just
you.
got sent code today for it actually, so I do plan to
Yeah, I really
play it with the
do
team.
recommend it. It's
Yeah.
super, super, super fun. Really, really enjoying it.